4 days into camp, how you feel things are coming together?
Good. I like our competitiveness. I like the way we're playing, practicing hard, fast, learning the system. We got a lot in 4 days. We've thrown a lot at them. Today was a brand new, everything was new today. Coverage, everything we did today was new. So for the first day, I thought, you know, certainly some mistakes, things to coach off of, but they did it hard, they did it fast, and very competitive. So got no complaints.
Coach Smith thought it was one of the most competitive practices he's experienced since he came here as head coach. What were your thoughts on it, just with the scuffles and everything?
I would say that too, yeah. And then sometimes you're going to get into a few scuffles when stuff starts getting competitive. But that's what you want. You don't want guys sitting back and being passive. It's football. It's a tough-ass sport. And so you want guys that are going to compete and what you want is guys that kind of get their burr up a little bit when you get beat. You know, you don't want somebody like, oh, okay, I got beat, and then come back. You want the guy to come back and fight. And that's, I don't want a fist fight, but you want the guys to come back, and that's what you're looking for and compete. Don't take it. You know, we talked about it before and talked about it a little bit last spring, and defense especially. We're changing a culture around this daggone place, okay? And it's not going to be mediocre. It's not going to be average. It's not going to be in the bottom half of the league like it's been 15 out of the last 20 years. Sick of that crap. We got to take charge, and it ain't going to be anybody else to do it but us, okay? I'm tired of everybody telling us how bad we are. After a while, you start believing it. Just like you never tell your children and stuff like, hey, you guys, you get mad at a teacher that says, you know, telling some kid he's stupid, right? You don't ever tell somebody that, because pretty soon they start believing it. Guys around here on defense sometimes believe, hey, 15th is okay or whatever. I've been in the top 10 one time out of the last 20 years. That bullshit's over. Okay, sorry, I'm getting fired up today, but I'm tired of this crap. We're going to change the culture of the defense around this frickin' place. People are going to start talking about Atlanta defense like they did at Baltimore, like they did at New England. It's going to be the same shit around here. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I swear.
How do you do that?
We close out of the
They're dashes.
It'll be good on the podcast.
We can say that on the internet.
How do you do that?
I mean, how do I do it, Mike? Think about it. Think about it. That's called competing. That's what you do. You get after them. You want other guys to get after other guys too. It's a hell of a lot more if it comes from another player than it does from a coach. Coaches are always correcting us. We're just basically negative guys at heart. Okay, but when another player gets on you and says you ain't doing your job, our standard here is you're one of 11 people. You just do your job and the other 10 do their job. Usually things are going to work out pretty good. We need players that are taking charge, and they are. That's what I like about this young group, is these guys are starting to take charge out there and get after each other a little bit and not accept it. And the only way you're going to do it is compete hard. And the other thing you're going to do is when somebody doesn't do it, you take them out and you put somebody else in. It's called competition, okay? Too many times around here, everything's based on salaries. I'm talking about it here. I'm talking about in the NFL. Based on a guy makes a lot of money. I don't have anything to do with salary cap as a defensive coordinator. All I know is the best 11 guys are going to go out there on the field, and the best 11 guys that are hungry and want to play. And if one of those guys making a lot of money, tough, get the hell out. I've done it before. Okay, I took a starter out at Baltimore and put a backup in, and he played the rest of the year. And the starter never got back in. I don't really care. Okay, last year I didn't know a hell of a lot about this team. I know a lot more about it right now, and that's how we're going to play defense around here.
Arthur said something yesterday about, talking to the team about the iPhone and all the predictions, the wrong predictions about the iPhone. You guys have made a point to address your team with this stuff as well, to tell them to not listen to that stuff. So did you feel like they were hearing it? Did you feel like those...
Yeah, that's been Arthur's message in the team meeting most of the time, has been that kind of stuff. And it pertains to both sides of the ball, whatever. You can't, all I can say is, what I'd like to do is see writers that make predictions. If you're wrong, you get fired, like a coach does. Well, No, I don't think laps. Coaches get fired when all of a sudden you don't win. So why should you guys be off the hook if your percentage is less than 50%? So I think that would be what I would really like to see going forward. I would like to see that put. No, I'm just kidding. No, look, the bottom line is that, look, we can't control what everybody else says about us. What you got to do is you got to believe in yourself. I've been there before. Okay, not many times with New England and Baltimore and stuff, but I've been there before, and I've seen it. And what you got to do, and you know what it does? It takes the right people. You want to really talk about it, you really want the truth, it takes the right players to do it. You got to take guys that won't take it. I will not tolerate this. I won't take it. And if you can't, you got to find those players. Those are the kind of guys. There's so many times, and I hate to always kind of give you some past history and stuff, but there's so many times I've never, if a coach has to raise his voice to get guys jacked up on defense, we ain't good enough. It ain't about us giving a pep talk. Bill Belichick never gives a pep talk for the game. Nothing. And he used to always say, if it takes that before a game to get you ready, I'm going to get you ready during the week. You ought to be ready come Sunday. Okay, he doesn't give pep talks. Saban doesn't give really pep talks. The guys I've worked for. Okay, it's players that got to get ready, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to change the culture, trying to bring players in here that got that kind of attitude. Whether they're the fastest guys or not, I think we're a lot faster than we were a year ago. Whether it's all based on that, it isn't based on that. It's based on being a football player. Okay, some guys get too caught up in height, weight, speed, vertical, all this kind of stuff, long arms, all that stuff. I had James Harrison in college. Nobody wanted his ass. Why? 5'11", short arms. Pretty good career. What do you think? You know why? Because he was a nasty, tough football player that loved to play. That's what you have. That's what we got to have here, and that's how we change it. You change it with players and attitude.
You see in practice like today when, like in coverage, you see a corner riding a receiver to the pylon so he can't make the catch and things like that. Are you noticing more on the competition or the technique, the physicality, just to make sure they're not getting sloppy because it is getting them?
Yeah, the only thing I would say, though, here's what a guy told. I heard this a long time ago from our offensive coach. And it was down in the red area, and I remember the quarterback coach, who I had the utmost respect for, talking to the quarterback about being brave enough to throw it in there, even when it looks like it's covered. Well, to me, I'm kind of want the same thing on defense. I'd rather see our guys be over-aggressive right now to the point of actually maybe even getting an interference call, not as long as it's not grabbing. I'd rather see them that than sitting there and playing off and being soft and the guy catching it in front of you all day. The only way you're going to make them aggressive is make them aggressive. Okay? I remember going into a game one year at Cincinnati, back in New England, and actually told Rodney Harrison in secondary at New England, I said, I want you guys all over these guys. They had Huz Mazada, Chad Bryant, they had a hell of a team. Palmer. I said, we are going to go attack these guys. If they double move you, grab them, take the holding penalty, it's 5 yards. First down, big deal. We were so damn aggressive and played the hell out of them and beat the crap out of them. That's what we're trying to do here, especially in camp. We were not aggressive enough last year. We need to be aggressive in coverage. We got a great corner out of here that can be aggressive, but we need everybody to be that.
Coach, you mentioned corner. What does it mean to add Casey Hayward, given his experience, his talent ability to that number 2 corner?
It does. It's a little similar to Fabian Moreau last year in some ways, but you're bringing in. The good thing about it is I think we got a great mixture of vets and secondary and back there in the secondary along with young guys. You got 2 young safeties, but you got 2 veteran safeties right behind them, pushing them and telling them and helping them a lot. And then you got corners out there, and then you got Darren and Paul and those guys that are over there fighting with Casey. So the competitiveness is good. Mike Ford's really shown up. Great to have Isaiah back. I mean, I'm feeling good about those guys.
When you see like multiple scuffles out there, for as long as you've been around football, like, do you kind of say, why are you doing this? Or like, you have, like, does that kind of get you energized a little bit? Like, what goes through your head because you've been around longer?
It's not surprising. When you get a spirited practice, it's usually inevitable. It's going to happen. Crap, I've seen so many of them, Michael. Here's what I do. I'm 72 years old. I walk the other way. My ass has been hit before. I went in there as a young buck trying to break it up and getting knocked out. You know what? You guys have at it. I'm done. Huh? Oh, way back when. I got knocked out. The guy went back to punch and got me with the elbow while I was behind him. About lost my teeth. So, New England. And believe it or not, the guy who was in the fight was Brady. It wasn't him that hit me, but it was him.
You were going after the defensive guy.
Hey, Coach, I gotta go to Canton next week. Doing a story on Richard Seymour. What were your recollections of him, playing up front for you guys? And
he was a monster up there for us. I mean, he's kind of the last of the two gap ends, you know, where him and Ty Warren could actually two gap guys and really play both gaps. He's kind of the last of that dying breed. You don't see those guys out there anymore. But surprisingly, also how athletic he was for as big as he was. I mean, the other thing was he got his hands up. I mean, when he wanted to, he was a handful. And the good thing was it made guys like Brewski, Sayal, pretty good inside backers too, but it made those guys life a lot easier too, because it was hard for them to scoop and get up onto the second level. Guys like that, they're hard to find anymore. He was a great person, a great person. We good?
Fire, listen to you. Can you come back every